work at least 35 years, and reach or surpass the maximum taxable earnings cap at all 35 years used in calculation. The next change affecting Social Security beneficiaries is an adjustment of income threshold for early filers under the retirement earnings test. Approximately 65% of retired workers claim their benefits before reaching full retirement. The earnings have actually reduced benefits in early filers based on their income. But next year, the withholding thresholds are expected to modestly increase along with inflation just to keep things going. Furthermore, long-term disabled workers receiving Social Security benefits may see adjustments in their income threshold. To continue receiving disability benefits, workers are allowed a specific amount each month, which may be increased slightly in 2024. It actually might be tougher for workers to qualify for the benefits, as the earned income threshold associated with lifetime work credits is expected to rise with inflation. Currently earning 40 lifetime credits and with a maximum of 4 earned annually qualifies a worker to receive the money. We have attendees with the fourth stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI, and SSDI. There's a ton of information, everybody, for Joe Biden and what Joe Biden's going to do for you guys. New stimulus checks are here, and there are at least 24 states testing out new programs just to give extra financial help to the people that need it. Hundreds of millions of dollars are being put towards the relief. A total of 24 states across the U.S. are testing the benefits of offering basic income with no strings attached to people and families in need, and more than $200 million has now been reportedly allocated for various pilot programs across the country. The state with the most basic income trials is California, with programs distributing money in L.A., Compton, Oakland, San Diego, and San Francisco. Several of these trials are fueled by a $35 million guaranteed income initiative by Gavin Newsom. Even the city of Long Beach is providing funds to vulnerable families affected economically through the Guaranteed Income Pilot Program, and payments will be issued in 12 days. This pledge, launched by the Long Beach Recovery Act, is helping out so many applications, promising $500 a month for 1 year to 250 families across the country. Payments will be sent out on the third Wednesday of the month. The fund for the guaranteed income told the Washington Examiner this. This area was selected to receive the funds because it saw a highest need of base poverty, and now about half of residents in the area live below the poverty level. The city issued $2 million to the program, a partnership with a nonprofit organization. That separate fund has also launched a different guaranteed income program in Compton, which provides 800 families with payments up to $300 and $600. Early results from the $1.8 million basic income trial in Denver suggest that such programs can offer a safety net for people facing hardships. Participants who were given $600 to $12,000 per year say they are largely using the money to cover basic needs. They also say the program is relieving stress levels and increasing the amount of hope they have for the future. Even in Rochester, a new guaranteed income program will provide a monthly payment of $500 to individuals. Applicants must be older than 18 and are required to have been a Rochester resident for a year, with a household income below 185%. Although used car prices are still stubbornly high and inventories are historically low, things have improved so far this year. We see people getting things that they need to get. Hopefully, everybody, Joe Biden can do more for the American people.
Of the time we have left.
The gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. For over 3 years, House Democrats have pushed for a radical, far-left agenda that does absolutely nothing to address the serious issues facing American families. The legislation made in order
are insisting that the government set aside more stimulus for retirees and seniors, and I definitely agree because stimulus payments are necessary. Many lawmakers and economists are looking at Joe Biden's sweeping stimulus package and its impact on the country. The American Rescue Plan Act, which cost a whopping $1.9 trillion, had a slew of provisions tucked into it and help battle the fallout of the crisis and plug holes in the social safety net. One of them is the Lewis Act, and this legislation was meant to shore up the finances of multi-employer pension plans, which are responsible for providing benefits to the retirees. And before the American Rescue Plan was signed into law, many plans were in a financial crisis. Beforehand, the House Education on House Committee and Labor warned that failing plans will enable to help the people who need benefits the most and they're owed to retirees, and that the funding for this program that helped so many Americans was running low. But now, according to the White House, insurance programs are estimated to become insolvent by 2026. It leaves around millions of people without the benefits that they had accrued through their careers. and a White House fact sheet had stated that in the latest cash infusion from the rescue plan, $36 billion went to the Central States Pension Fund, safeguarding 350,000 Teamster workers and retirees, including truck drivers and warehouse workers, from cutting to their benefits. So it's not the only proactive measure that the Biden administration has taken up to shore up American finances when they retire. The president had released a plan to address climate costs, draining retirement funding, and also their savings account. But now the relief in the pension comes to Republicans' potentially eye cuts to security. Social Security, that is, another major social safety net for the elderly and retirees. Social Security is already cash-strapped. So many experts are worried about the future of the program. And also, this Thursday, Chuck Schumer was reelected by his caucus to lead Democrats for a second term. It happened during a private meeting in the Capitol as the caucus chose to keep most of the pre-existing leadership team intact. In the wake of a better-than-expected midterm election, Democrats obtained majority of the House and the Senate. Only Senator Patty Murray of Washington, who will be the president for a while, will not serve on the leadership team anymore, after serving in a number of years, and now it's time for him to retire. But Chuck Schumer, on the other hand, and the rest of the leadership were unanimously elected by the Senate Democratic Caucus to serve again in Congress. The election comes as the party won a slim 2-seat majority over GOP in the 118th Congress, after Warnock held his seat in Congress earlier this year. This will be the first Congress in which Chuck Schumer will hold the majority again, and where Kamala Harris will be able to step in to break some ties and help Democrats pass the bills they need to pass. For instance, stimulus bills. And also Democrats re-elected the senators to in top leadership roles, and including Senator Dick Durbin as a majority whip. This year has been defined by the economy as a cycle of record spending. But it appears that record high inflation is not stopping Americans from spending money. Everybody has also caused the CEO of JP Morgan Chase to warn that all this spending is leading to less in Americans' bank accounts. It's a potential sign that a recession might be on the horizon. Another sign that could be pointing to recession is the labor market, which is showing signs of softening as both initial and continuing jobless claims continue to rise. It's something that the Fed has been trying to avoid while rising rates to curb inflation. Economists are just keeping an eye on this because of November's Producer Price Index Friday, a report that shows how much retailers raised prices to keep up with inflation. It could set the tone for how high the Fed interest rate will be next Wednesday. Experts also predict that the Producer Price Index grew 0.2% last month after leveling out in October, but they still projected to be low enough to keep the Fed from making its fifth straight 75 basis point hike. Nearly 80% of economists expect the Fed to issue a 25 to 50 basis point jump next week as the Fed works to wrangle high prices. So now the economy was a top issue for voters this year, but things are slowing down and holiday season is approaching, so we're now waiting for Joe Biden to do more for the American people and send out stimulus payments because it's time for him to do this.
Not just for Africa. I've been engaged in these issues going back to my days as a young man in the United States Senate. When I was on the Foreign Relations Committee, I was chairman of the African Affairs Subcommittee and got to spend a lot of time in Africa. I visited almost all of your countries.